I'd like to introduce my sister, Sylvia Wake-Hood, and she's a software developer in the San Francisco area, and I'm just super proud of her. And she agreed to come on and talk to me about her new app called Sloganon. Good to see you again, and thank you. I'm just wondering if you could give me some background. How did this app Sloganon come about?
Okay, thank you, Carl. It's great to be here. Well, first of all, I'm retired now, and as Carl mentioned, I'm a software engineer / developer, and I love writing software for iPhones. And for fun, was a year ago, I started an iPhone class called iOS Bootcamp. And so, going through all different aspects of programming and marketing, et cetera, for iPhones. And of course, one of the best ways to learn something is by doing. And sort of in parallel, I belong to an Al-Anon group, and we have literally a list of sayings, slogans, sayings, and acronyms. And once a month, I guess what used to be in person, they'd have a bunch of little slips of paper, and you would pull out a slogan and see if it meant something, if it touched you or so on. So anyway, when I first went to Al-Anon, I thought that, it's so stupid, these things. I roll my eyes, but then I found that as time went on, they were really meaningful. So then back to the iOS class, there was one thing that one session on using random number generator to, choose something out of a list or something. I thought, oh, well, we have these lists of slogans that I could have a daily slogan. So that was kind of the first idea. So I wrote some, oh, here's the daily slogan. So then this past January, I sort of developed into a more full-featured app. And anyway, so that's how it was born. It was from a love of iPhone programming and a new love of slogans.
All right, thank you. And you led right into an appropriate question. Could you walk us through the app and tell us about its features?
Yes, well, there's 4 tabs. You can have a tab, you navigate by using tabs on the bottom, or some there's navigation bars on the top. So anyway, on the first tab, there's a slogan of the day, which is a random number generator using the number of days since January 0th of 1970 to figure out what day it is, and then pick that number, and then that's associated with a particular slogan, and then display it. So the first is the daily Sloganon, and then sort of links to look at slogans, sayings, and acronyms, which I've sort of broken down these various little sayings into those categories. And then when you drill down to those, like a list of sayings, there's a little heart, and if you select the heart, that's like one of your favorites. So then after that, it shows up on the first page as your favorites. So for example, one of my favorites is Let Go and Let God. So I hearted that, and it shows up in my favorite section. So that's the first page. The second page, I also found that I am currently going through the 12 steps in Al-Anon with a sponsor. And I can never remember the 12 steps, even when I'm doing it, So I thought it would be really helpful to have, the 12 steps at my fingertips. And so then I put a tab for the 12 steps. And then the third tab is what I call the Serenity Prayer 3D flowchart, which is something that I did as I was going through step 3, I believe, where you're talking about your relationship to your higher power and serenity. And as a software engineer, it came to me as it was like a flow chart. If there's a thing that is bothering you of concern, there's a decision box, can you change it? Yes or no. That's if you can't change it, accept it. So if you can change it, and in the decision box, that's wisdom. And then either way, you end up at serenity. So that's very, makes sense to me to help me kind of work through really difficult situations by looking at, just using the serenity prayer. And then another time I thought actually the very, very hardest part of that prayer, putting it into action, is the acceptance part. So, I'm a kind of a doer kind of person, but accepting things, because you can't change them, is actually really hard. So then I have another little breakdown of accepting things, kind of the things you can't change, the past, the future, other people, and then, some of the strategies, which is actually very simple, let go and let God, and basically accept that you don't have much change. And there's a lot of power in just reframing things, like things that are bugging you. If you put a different view on it, it's, you can achieve serenity. Anyway, so that, and then finally, back to the app, the fourth tab is kind of an info tab, which has some links to the Al-Anon website and our local website, because we live in Sonoma County, and you can add your own. So anyway, that is the app in a 4-tab nutshell.
Thank you for that walkthrough. And I'm wondering, you brought up that you could add your own website. Are there other ways that a person who's using the app can adapt it to their own and make it personal? Can you describe any ways that this can become their app?
Oh, okay. But I think, the two ways that are in it at the moment are your favorites, adding to your favorites, and adding a website that, if you lived in upstate New York or Embrun, Ontario, you could put in the link of your local Al-Anon organization. I have an idea for in the future. I'm kind of just doing some sort of, I guess, research and thought about it, is that there's a lot of 12-step programs, I think 14 or something, if you look on Wikipedia. And for the most part, their 12 steps are very similar, but they'll change some words. So I was thinking, you could customize it for various 12-step groups. And I also, but I wonder, are the slogans kind of all focused on Al-Anon? I think the slogans are very universal, but there are some of the sayings that are kind of, I think, are more adapted to Al-Anon perspective as being a family member of someone with an addiction. Okay.
Any thought or about adaptability for, if someone prefers a different color scheme? Is that anywhere in the future? You have a particular gradient. Can that be changed? I know. Far be it for me to tell you what to do, but I'm just wondering: can it be adapted or tweaked for personal taste?
At the moment, it's just adaptable for light and dark, which is something you can do with your phone anyway, to set it to light and dark. So it has a different appearance from that standpoint. And certainly it's something that could be done, but it's lower on my priority list.
Yeah, just wondering.
I went to a lot of trouble figuring out those colors.
Yes. How has the response been to your app? I forget how long it's been. Has it been a month or 2 months?
I think it came out like on July 29th-ish or 30th.
Okay.
So it hasn't even really been a month. Well, it's not, the feedback from my, friends and family has been very positive, and also from my local, the Al-Anon group that I attend to has been very enthusiastic. I can do a better job of marketing it. It just needs, and actually my plans are to, post it on Instagram and so forth, and hopefully, I really just want people that could enjoy it to be able to find it.
Yeah.
So that's, as a matter of fact, if you have any suggestions about that, let me know.
I do know that it's going to be on Released for Good YouTube channel, and I mean, heavens, that is an influencer for like crazy. I know, like, how many, 24 subscribers? It's got to help you somehow. Oh, it's just fun. I'm experimenting, and yeah, I think I think that's about it for the questions that I had written out. You've made it clear that you'd welcome feedback. Maybe I should just ask, how does someone get in contact with you? Is there anything that I can put on the screen? How to reach out to you, or is that in the when you download the app? Is there contact information for the developer?
It's not in the app, but if you go to the App Store, there's a link to the developer. But the easiest answer is there is a website called sloganon.org, which is probably the simplest website in the world. But then it has our email address, my business's email address, Wake-Hood. I think Wake-Hood and I don't know who, Wake-Hood and Associates at gmail.com.
Okay, well, I will get that up on the screen for our viewers. And is there anything else that you'd like to add before we close this off?
I guess I would like to add that the 12-step programs are such a powerful force for good in your life. I sometimes joke in our meetings that it's too bad everyone doesn't have an alcoholic in their life, so they to come to Al-Anon, because it turns out that it's not just it's really about your own growth, not about trying to fix the addict. So anyway, that's my message. And one way of doing that is learning the slogans. And this is, Sloganon can help.
Well, I really appreciate you taking the time today to come online with me and allow me to interview you. I'm super proud of you. That's my big sister, and you're doing a wonderful job. And thank you for this.
Well, thank you for this opportunity, Carl. I love you so much.
Thank you. I love you too. Bye for now.
Bye-bye.